Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 8 of the Hybrid Athlete podcast. Things are moving forward for me, so I wanted to provide an update and have a little conversation about what I got going on with my brand, my representation overall is what I'm trying to do in terms of kind of being a more professional in this space, producing content, getting my certification as a nutritionist. That happened this last week, so I'm happy with that. I'm moving forward with like bodybuilding exercise specifically, moving forward with exercise recovery, etc. Like I said last week and the week before, I've been working on focusing myself with recovery. I'm really dialed in on my keto diet at this point, so I'm about close to a week in. So I have some feedback on that, kind of an update, reflection along those lines. Overall, in terms of training, I'm just kind of slow and steady. I will speak today about kind of like the 3-phase program with the 3 diet. It's kind of just like an inspection of 9 different types of excuse me, 9 different types of programs that I want to roll out for my exercise programming and actually put on my website, which is being built this week. It should be finalized by the end of July, probably mid-July. So some new news, and I've seen I get a handful of 4, 5, 6, 7 views. Some of my shorts are getting some decent views, so 1,000 hits here or there, which is nice. So start gaining a little bit of momentum. I can feel it, kind of developing and starting to roll into a kind of a bigger presence. And obviously it's a lot on me just to put in the work and hold myself accountable to produce the consistent content. So that's why I wanted to make this video, and just kind of build that week to week schedule and keep it going. So 8 episodes in, that's kind of 2 months more or less that I've been doing this short form of conversations. Going into the future, I'm going to make sure that they're a little bit more well prepared, so that anyone who wants to watch or who wants to kind of maybe tell their friends or coworkers about it, or anyone who they know, and to say, hey, this guy Nate, he's doing like a podcast or just kind of like a vlog where he's kind of talking about his exercise and giving some good advice and information. I want to maybe add some elements of icons, maybe some whiteboard work, things like that, where it's more on some videos it's more reflective, where maybe the audience or people can get to know me a little bit better. I always speak about kind of my diet and exercise. It's kind of like a duality there, but I might include more things on kind of personal reflection, motivational, kind of uncover that ambivalence that a lot of us have in life. I made a post on my professional LinkedIn webpage that just kind of talked about how, being a nutritionist to me is important, about kind of uncovering that kind of getting over that level of competency that most people feel. I feel like I definitely relate to a lot of people in terms of, I'm in good physical. I have a high level of physical fitness, but I can relate to 80% of the population because I don't make $1 million. I'm not YouTube famous. I'm not. I'm in my 30s. I just turned 32, so I'm kind of that young, energetic person, adult who can kind of share their experience and share their thoughts and provide some positive energy to the YouTube space and to the world and to my community. So I'm very motivated to do that at this point. That being said, let me get into my website. So it's called AmericanHybridAthlete.com, and I'm going to drop the logo of my webpage, this video in the below the thumbnail in the description, along with maybe like a few other samples of just kind of some of the web pages that I'm trying to get designed by a third-party web service. So once I get that rolled out, I'm going to try to add some of my diet plans on there. I'm going to add some of my programming. In a few minutes, I'm going to go over like a 3-phase program that I'm trying to really establish and kind of build out, so that I can provide like a 3, 6, 9, 12-month, 3-year service. I can provide different diet services, things along those lines, and really dig into kind of the macronutrient, micronutrient profile of things and kind of get that service done. I will say, I mean, even at the professional level, I mean, a lot of times, there's like a, world-class bodybuilder that's reaching out to his trainer. Hey, what's the plan for this week? It just says, eat this, eat that. There's guys that talk about how they receive the email from their coach. Okay, 10 eggs, 6 eggs, chicken breast, vegetables, 2 cups of this, 2 cups of broccoli, 8 ounces of chicken, 6 eggs for this meal. Go. And that's it. So I actually want to do that with a little bit more because those of us who are just starting out, we're not as in tune as, maybe the professionals or some of the better, some of the well-established people are in this space of kind of like, really, really wanting to improve your diet and understanding like what happens to you and what your body, how your body reacts to a specific elements, because it's very scientific. So, like I said, one of the themes of these videos that I'm going to be making is going to be just as self-reflective for me to kind of master it and practice speaking about it as it is for any of you who are watching, who are curious about this stuff and who maybe just want to get some free instruction. So, my goal here is to kind of, bring you in with some free instruction and then maybe encourage enough folks who get to know me or who are aware of me to maybe reach out, contact me, especially locally. I refer them to this channel. I will in the future once it gets more established and I have my website. But I think that the development's going to be, okay, meet me. You can get to know me better on YouTube. And then if you really like what I have to offer, then you can reach out to me and maybe we can work together. So, I can help you in terms of getting ready for a race. I'm not that big of a guy. I weigh 182 pounds right now, but I think like I have a lot of knowledge in terms of bodybuilding, and that's my next certification, my next license that I'm pursuing. So my goal is to be like PhD level pretty much with all this exercise stuff that I'm going through. I've never been a professional, but I feel like I know as much as a lot of professionals. So I've said that, multiple times on this cast, on this stream. And I stick to that, and I hold myself accountable to that principle and accountable to that standard, because there's enough, lies and manipulation and deception going on in the world. I want to be able to say, hey, I'll charge you half as much as most trainers, almost everyone out there, and I'll give you my time, my energy, my effort, within the realm of real. We're not at 3 a.m, but if 6, 7, 8 p.m. at night, you want to call me and ask a question, or you want to talk about what you're doing this week, I'm all for that. I'm available. I will make myself available, because my goal is to build this project, build this passion that I have into my life long into the future, starting this year into next year, and really get this thing rolling. Build some nice in-person relationships, get involved with my son's school, start things in terms of like a volunteer program, maybe a nonprofit. I have that. That's going to be added onto my webpage. It's called Exercise to Surprise. I think it's built some pretty good, momentum. I've raised over $150 this far. So I know that it exists. So that's step one. I have a plan of action, a call to action for this upcoming holiday season, even if it's just as small as me renting a U-Haul truck and going to 1 or 2 places and taking an hour or two. That's all I need to really like kind of get everything going, and then just build it year over year, brick by brick. So I guess I can get a little bit more into the website, because the website's where I want to start, and then I'll get into exercise programs. So the website is hybrid. The domain name is American Hybrid Athlete. And I used a free logo website just to generate like a generic logo. I think it came out pretty good. So, got some mountains in the background, some nice artistic writing established in 2023. It's going to be my nonprofit. Actually, well, that's going to be my company, my branded company, and then my nonprofit is going to be Exercise to Surprise. So I want to merge those two. And I've talked to a few people who have been successful with nonprofits and with running both. I think having a cash flow for reasons of taxes, and for reasons of being able to pay yourself comfortably. I want to have an income stream where I can maybe create some shirts, do other things, use my training, my trainer income to kind of fund things that I want to do for a nonprofit. But then use my nonprofit also to get some grants, maybe from the state. So one thing I'm going to try to do this next year is maybe just get a hold of some equipment or something where I can run like just a volunteer program for exercise for kids in District 6 here in Northern Colorado. So I've spoken with some of the superintendents there, and they seem like there's a high demand for it, a high need. And I won't go down the rabbit hole, but there's enough bullshit going on with how we treat kids these days. And the cliche can never be more true. The kids are our future. So even if I have an impact on 10, 15, 20 kids here in Northern Colorado, it's well worth 10 weeks of my time. So we'll see how that develops and how that grows into something that I can maybe, again, provide year over year. I want this to be like a seasonality thing where I have my regular base job, but then I also incorporate, things where I'm helping out, maybe with donating for the holidays, maybe with a program for schools. and then just have kind of like a training program, kind of a well-established training product that I can sell and provide. So everything is going to be on the webpage. You're going to have my contact information, my social media links, my YouTube channel, um, maybe some t-shirts or sweaters if I want to get those at some point. If I get more people are involved or interested, I want it to be high quality though. I don't just want it to be like some cotton shirt that people are not going to want to wear. Um, so yeah, who knows? For now, though, the website's just going to be like the starting point, and it's going to be another way for me to just drop a link and get information and get kind of my brand and content out there. And then I leave open, obviously, the opportunity to work with other people in the future. Maybe somebody else who's in, northern Denver or something, or someone else who's in Broomfield or Loveland, or anyone who's kind of doing something similar to me and maybe wants to sync up and just maybe provide, can't just a weekend of doing something, or just kind of like, a community where we kind of, even virtually, we can kind of meet, collaborate, build something together in terms of a program, or we can go to specific events together, maybe and participate in specific races or competitions, whatever it is. So there's plenty of people out there already that are doing that, but I think it'd be cool to kind of combine it into like a nutrition thing where you hold yourself accountable and say, okay, I'm going to do this program that you have, and also we're going to do this thing together, because it's just more of like a unifying concept. And again, I kind of lean towards the people that want to be, kind of like dedicated to it, not just like, oh, I drink alcohol 3 days a week and I might do this or I might not. So I'm interested more in people that are kind of in a healthy way. They're obsessed with it like I am. So that's kind of my motivating factor. The website's going to have pictures, photos, upcoming events. I'm going to have like a month by month format where if I'm doing something, like, for example, in July, I'm going to do, or in August, I'm going to do like a triathlon, a mini triathlon race. Then in September, I'm going to do a marathon again. And then in October, I'm going to do something different, just kind of like a stadium obstacle course thing. So I will like share that information and post it on there, and then have that as kind of like my personal calendar. And then also at the top of the webpage, I'll have like links to all the different programs that I have. Maybe links to other information like my bio, so you can kind of know who I am a little bit better, and things like that. So let me talk about the like the programming that I have, that I've designed, that I've kind of drafted. And once I kind of fine tune a few things, I want to put that. I'll post that in probably 2 or 3 places, probably on my LinkedIn, the stuff that's free, and then on my website just for purchase and to view. And then also here on YouTube, some of the samples as well, just kind of the introductory programming. But basically what I'm doing is I'm going to deal in the areas that I know, that I'm confident that I'm strong in. So obviously I've done races, I've done marathons, I've done obstacle races, I've done agility work where you're doing like, plyo boxes, where you're doing kind of, box jumps, CrossFit style. It's not necessarily going to be CrossFit, but there's going to be high intensity interval training that's CrossFit style in the program. So that's kind of like that middle of the road training where you're not lifting weights all the time, but you're not running all the time and just trying to run a marathon. So I define it as like a hybrid program, and that's going to be the name of it. So the hybrid program is going to be lifting weights either 4 or 5 days a week, and then doing 3 or 4 days of HIIT, high intensity interval training, and doing like 2 longer cardio sessions every week. And then I'm going to combine that program with one of 3 diets. So I'm going to do the ketogenic diet, which is one option, or I'm going to do like a high carb kind of paleo, not high carb, but a carb included paleo diet. And then I'm going to do some more for like probably older folks, a Mediterranean diet, because that basically is more friendly towards blood pressure and towards hypertension and blood sugar. So that's going to be more of just like, maybe including like more alternative sources of protein. So like fruits, nuts, stuff like that. Not necessarily going to be vegetarian, but it's going to be limited. It's going to limit animal meats. And I've done enough research into that to understand like how you get your macros from those, and basically just how you balance out fats and carbs. But I really want to include keto because I've been happy with the results for my ketogenic diet for the last 5 days. And I'm very confident that I'm going to be in tremendous shape when I finish at the end of July and I do a half marathon. So I'm, going to be providing like a documentation of that, basically just a start to finish tracking. So Starting out on the first week of July, I took my July 1st or June 30th pick of me, just kind of a physique update, front and back. And then I'm going to go to another update at the end of July and show the difference. And I think it's going to be effective just because it's kind of going to demonstrate what can happen even to someone like myself who's already in pretty good shape when you dedicate, when you commit to a specific diet. But again, I realize I'm not, one of those influencers on social media. I'm not a high profile guy, but I want to personalize it. I want to include it in my program. I want to mesh it with fun training, good training, challenging training that can be adaptable to the individual. So like I spoke about, the bodybuilding one. There's the HIIT one, which includes kind of a hybrid training. And then there's going to be like more like race focused training where for 3 to 6 weeks, you're all running. I mean, if it's going to be a marathon, it's all running. If it's triathlon, it's all run, bike, swim. It's a lot of brick workouts. It's minimal weights. It's just like maintenance. So it's nothing heavy, no barbell lifts. It's all dumbbell machine work in the weight room. There's a few professionals that kind of do that type of training. But for the most part, it's very minimal. So I follow that kind of template. But again, I include 5 days of hard cardio, but that varies. The volume and the intensity varies, but it's still focused on cardiovascular, type 1 muscle fiber work, everything that's kind of aerobic exercise, muscle firing, non-type 2, it's not HIIT, it's not intense powerlifting, it's not fast twitch work. Even when you're doing weights, it's more of just like 20 to 25 reps in volume, stretching, active recovery. Every program has steam, sauna, essential maintenance, detoxification methods, sauna, cold plunge once, twice a week, things along those lines. So the variety is going to be basically 3 different programs. So you have like the endurance one, you have the HIIT, the hybrid one, then you have the bodybuilding one, which is more of just like, okay, getting into weightlifting. This is what I'm doing now. Like I'm on the right now I'm bodybuilding keto, if that makes sense. So I'm on a ketogenic diet and I'm holding a nice ratio of like 10 to 12% carbohydrates. And I'm figuring out my caloric intake and my macro, I guess, need and satiation as I go along. So like I plan to have, I've already gone through ground turkey. I've already gone through boneless, skinless thighs. I've already gone through like the bag and a half of bacon. I've already gone through quite a few things, but I'm realizing that I don't have to eat as much volume, but I'm still getting my macronutrient needs just in a different way. And the studies show that once it consumes primarily fats for a long enough period of time, your body starts to produce ketones, and your body starts to pick up on the message that you need to basically outsource those as energy sources, and that's a new energy pathway through ketogenesis. So I'm approaching that point, but right now it's still kind of like an adaptive phase where my body doesn't feel quite the same during exercise, but I'm also getting in tune and I'm feeling kind of the evolution of the diet in terms of my ability to kind of recruit those energy sources and kind of, not have oxidative stress while I'm working out. The first time I worked out on the keto diet, I could just feel myself thinking, where are the carbohydrates? But even yesterday, when I did like a pretty challenging workout, I did a 20-minute run, I did 5 rounds of boxing, and then I did like a heavy shoulder workout with arms. I felt kind of the adaptation come into play where I was more in tune with my breathing, and breathing is everything. Yoga instructors will tell you that. High level athletes will tell you that. There's athletes that do breathing, whole classes on breathing techniques. So it's important. And I feel like I was kind of more in touch with, okay, my body feels a tad bit different, but now I'm kind of dialing into kind of the new. The more you work out, the more you're in tune with everything in your body. So I sense the difference at the beginning of keto, but now I'm just more in tune with that difference, and I'm able to kind of, conceptualize it and synchronize myself with it, if that makes sense, and really get into a workout with the same mindset, the same mind to muscle connection, all of that stuff that people talk about, and effectively going through a workout and getting the most out of it. So I was very satisfied with yesterday, and it was my 5th or 6th day on the keto diet. So I'm definitely in the groove with that program. So circling back to the programs, That's mine, the bodybuilding keto diet. Now we can go into like bodybuilding paleo, which is what I did all winter, and I was 6 to 8 pounds heavier than I am right now. So I want to provide a service that's for anyone who, unless you want to be a power lifter or unless you want to be like a sprinter, I could basically accommodate anything you're trying to do. And if you want to do a dirty bulk, well, I really can't help you because I'm not going to say to go eat a bunch of fucking hamburgers and cheeseburgers. But I am going to tell you, okay, maybe add extra fat, do fats and carbs for a while, so you kind of blow up, and then just shrink it back down because you do actually have to get a little bit chubby to get bigger. So I realize that, and I would recommend almost like a heavy paleo diet with a bodybuilding program, something like that. So I can basically deal with a variety of people in that way and recommend like a multitude of things to kind of get them to that point in a healthy way. Meaning like you can still eat things. One of the diet programs I have allows you to have 2 or 3 cheat meals every week. And even there's a lot of bodybuilders that are on that program too in the off season. Like they eat whatever the hell they want 3 times a week. And, they do get bigger, but it's not one of those things where it's an entire day and it gets out of control. So, I'll tell you that as long as you have a fair amount of discipline, it shouldn't be an issue with, limiting yourself to 2 or 3 cheat meals a week. But my program absolutely includes that. I mean, there are limitations, like you can't have an 8,000 calorie cheat meal or something. But I think it's a very good accommodation to the lifestyle for most people. And again, I follow the 80-20 rule with most of my things. So, these types of programs are going to be perfect for 80-85% of the population. So, and I would argue that there's not much out there that's as low priced or even free. A lot of the stuff I'm giving free that I can provide. So that's kind of my sales pitch. That's kind of my introduction to the next phase of my fitness life and my side projects, my passion projects for my day to day. Again, I will be kind of including some more things on the website and dropping a few more, I guess, videos and kind of tailoring these videos to be more reflective for me, meaning that I improve my speaking skills on one subject and one subject alone. A lot of times for me, these videos are just like an update and kind of a reflection on what I've done, like how I feel things, and kind of, providing a few insights here and there. But what I want to do is I want to basically have a video, have a title video where I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. I sit down, I give you guys 10 or 15 minutes. It's easy to watch. It's quick to watch. And I can gain some fellowship, and gain some support and kind of gain some momentum that way. Because in my opinion, I feel like a lot of people who watch the top level people, like if you watch a Chris Bumstead video, you would rather watch Chris Bumstead kind of, I guess, lift, as opposed to like watch him talk about what he eats, which is kind of boring. So I kind of want to like pull from that, meaning you probably don't want to watch me work out just because I'm not a high level professional, but maybe you want to listen to me talk about what I do as someone who's like pretty advanced, but not like a professional in terms of my day-to-day routine. So maybe you'll catch something that you don't do, like maybe sleep amount, water intake, pay attention to sodium electrolytes. Oh, maybe this protein source has a lot of electrolytes, a lot of sodium. Not many people talk about that. That's pretty cool. Things along those lines, so that we can kind of grow together and build each other up, because there's a lot of benefits and positivity that can come from kind of using this platform as a vertical for sharing your fitness life. So I encourage that all the way. And the more progress that comes for me through this, I will definitely share it with everyone. So until next time, thank you all, and have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.